Hello, everyone. I'm Shafali Shrivastava, your host and moderator for this session. Today's session will take you through internships, part-time jobs, career placements when you are studying in Canada. So it is through and thorough. And I'm sure many of the attendees will be joining us and are almost there. We'll have a lot of questions in regards to this. So kindly just share your questions in Q&A in chat, whoever is joining later on. And I'll again repeat it once they are here. Without further ado, we'll start it. And we have an amazing panel today with us. I'll start with a brief introduction and you guys can just say a little bit hi to our viewers. We'll be doing this. We have Tanushri Bhattacharya, International Student Recruitment Advisor, Asia and Europe from the University of British Columbia. Niharika Kataria, Student Recruitment Advisor from University of Windsor. Prerna Tripathi, International Recruitment Officer, India-based from McMaster University. Rohan Rawat, International Marketing Strategist, South Asia, Georgian College. And our very own Sakshi Chauhan, Senior Manager, Partnership and Growth Alliance. Hi guys, welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us. I know with all these things and virtual events, it's very difficult to join, but yeah, thank you so much. And I will start with one question. There's this new news coming. I'll start with you, Prerna. Canada is known to be the best country to live in. Why? And also do share some light on quality of life index. Canada has been scoring first position since last 6 consecutive years. So please.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. Thank you, Shafali and University Living for organizing this session. That's a very interesting question. I would like to start with this thought that what do we suppose a good country to live in is like, which is affordable, which has a good job market, it is economically stable, it is family friendly, has income equality, politically stable, safe. There are various metrics and parameters. And if I talk about Canada, so it offers the highest standard of living, decreasing taxes, and it has a strengthening economy with 2.3% of inflation rate. They have an increasing amount of income every year. I think the average annual income is around $40,000. Healthcare is considered as a fundamental right. They have a free healthcare system. It offers, it's the most educated country in the world. It spends more money on the education of their citizens than any other nation. Multiculturalism, which it is adopted in Canada as a national policy. They recognized dual citizenship. They support media, newspapers in several languages, whether it is Portuguese, Italian, Chinese. It encourages minority representation in the workforce, in education, and it offers support and help for newcomers in Canada. So they have translation service, they have immigration advisory, etc. They also legalized same-sex marriage in 2005. They were the 4th country to do this. And they keep their citizens safer with the lowest crime rate. That is from the fair justice system they have, the strict gun control laws, and the community policing. So right. If you look at Canada, it checks all these boxes, and that's why the rank 1 out of all 78 countries, beating out nations like Japan, Germany, Switzerland, and Australia. And this reflects their political and economic stability, and hence we all can understand why the quality of life ranking is number 1 in these 6 years.
Actually, and the point that you mentioned about health, that's very important. And Canada has been promoting mental health since start. Many countries started recognizing it as a very important thing during this pandemic when they start seeing anxiety and everything happening. But Canada has been promoting mental health since day one. And I think that's the reason that they have been at number 1 position since last 6 years as quality life index. Anyone else who would like to add a few points onto this?
Just to add on to the mental health bit, I think all universities and colleges present here, we have also, in the past 2 years, focused a lot on providing mental health support to our students. So there are trained counselors, psychologists who are stationed in the student support services offices, and they offer a lot of support to our international students. Because as you mentioned, mental health has become the main concern for a lot of students, especially during these tough times. when we're all going through a pandemic globally.
Right.
So all the universities, public institutions, DLIs, colleges, they have focused on this in the past 2 years and have ensured that international students, domestic students don't feel left out. They have somebody to talk to. They have somebody to just, share their feelings with. So that is something that we all have been able to put into place in the past 2 years if they were not existing already.
Right.
I
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
would
Rohan,
like to
please.
add one more point. I think what makes a country better are the people. So I think Canadian people are really, really welcoming. So I think this is the beauty of Canada. I've traveled so many countries who are again ranked second or third. But I think the only difference I felt, especially Australia is my second home, and Canada now is my second home due to work. But I think the real difference is that people really welcome students and even new citizen or immigrants with open hands, right? So I think that makes Canada a better country and a better living. And we are one of the college who are number one on the mental health. We do have mental health hotline for students and even alumni. Sometimes they feel stressed, especially after COVID. And we are the first college to launch a mental health program, especially in COVID time, because we really understood that this is one of the most important area that now the universities and colleges need to grow so that we understand and teach the student the future.
Right, right. Well said. And like we have already established that it is important. And now coming back to the main questions, how to secure a part-time job. Students, of course, studying abroad is always most dream for most of the people. But then there is more to study abroad, right? There is always PR, there are always part-time jobs, there's internships and everything. Now I'll come to you, Niharika, back on this. What kind of courses are there in Canada which are more famous and easier to get for the best job opportunities? If you can suggest one. I understand that it's like co-counseling well apart, but still.
Uh, if you want me to mention a few courses which will land them jobs, it will be very difficult because it will depend on the kind of job market situations we have at that time. But some of the students' feedback that we've been getting in the past 2, 3 years about getting placed after doing a technical degree or getting placed after doing something in accounting and finance. Looking at the kind of feedback that we get from our students, these jobs are very sought after because the domestic population or the domestic students don't take all these technical jobs, and students from all across the globe come to Canada to take on these courses and eventually get placed. So anything to do with technical and finance related, I believe they are the most sought after at the moment, but it obviously depends on the market conditions, on the kind of forces that are working in the economy, and province to province, location to location. It may vary, but yes, the universities, the public institutions, they provide a lot of support to the students in order to get placed after they complete their courses. All of us have career departments, career counselors who will advise the students in order to what they should get into after completing the courses. We have job fairs, career fairs being organized all throughout the year, and students have access to all these opportunities where they can interact with employers and get their CVs or their resumes given out to them, and apply for the jobs that they come advertising to us.
Great, great. I will add one point to this.
Wanted to add something.
Yeah, Tanushree, definitely please add. And I would like you guys to also share some career support programs that your universities and your colleges running. So Tanushree, please go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to add on and chime into what Niharika said. But I would also strongly encourage students to do what they're most passionate about doing. Don't just go for something that seems like having a good job opportunity. Go for something that you love the most and trust us that you will get that opportunity because you're so passionate about the program that you're doing. You will have high GPAs, you will utilize all the opportunities provided to you on campus. So I think go for a program that's your strength, go for a program that you really love, and you will find opportunities. And also, do not look for opportunities just in Canada. All our degrees are globally recognized. So wherever you go, wherever you find that opportunity, be rest assured that your Canadian degree is going to put you forward there. So it's when we talk about opportunities, let's not restrict it by boundaries, that only opportunities within Canada. Let's talk about opportunities globally, because most of us are global institution. We have international students on campuses, and they will find opportunities around the world. And that is true for most of our students, and our alums are working across all countries. So that's the opportunity, and that's the strength of a Canadian degree. Now, coming to your other question, I can just talk about what career division at UBC has to offer. I think we have a lot of opportunities that's available for students on campus. The careers division there, as Niharika mentioned, works very, very closely with international students. They help them with their job search. They help them with, how to prep for your interviews. How can you, convert your nervousness to your strength, because students are nervous and we do recognize that before they go for the interview. How should you work and how should you connect via LinkedIn? These are very, very practical things, but as international students, as undergraduate students, they may not be aware of it. There are going to be career fairs where there will be opportunities for students to network with their prospective employers, know what kind of jobs are expected as they graduate 2 years or 3 years hence from the universities. But another great opportunity is the co-op opportunity that one of my colleagues mentioned. That is your first step towards building a connection that's proving that you are a great resource for your future organization.
Right. Rohan, you want to add something to this?
Yeah, because all the other colleagues are panelists from the university, and I'm
you're from the college. Right.
So we are hardcore focused on job. So we don't offer a degree. We offer all diploma which are job ready. So we are being ranked as a #1 co-op college because we are hardcore in practical ability, and we try and mentor the student who comes to our college. So in the end, because most of the co-op programs are paid, so students have an option in the middle of a semester to have a paid job. So we make sure that they are having a practical exposure and they know how to work in a Canadian environment, how to work in a team, how to coordinate in different departments, because when they are paid, the employer makes sure that they are getting the best work out of them. And all the programs, not just the co-op, the other program also have a mentor from the day one. That student, because most of the students that come from South Asia, sometimes they are very good at academic, but they really, will face a challenge in giving presentation or maybe going out or networking. So from day one, the mentoring is there so that it is not that only the last semester or only when it's the job placement, the student will get all the update. From day one, we try and understand the student behaviors, the pattern, the skills that they lack in, and we try to give them the skill set which will make them more employable.
Right. Prerna, you also want to add something, I believe.
Yeah, so I think everything has been covered. Most of the Canadian universities, they work in the same pattern. So instead of giving a fish to someone to eat, they'll teach you fishing so that you can feed yourself for a lifetime. So career preparation strategy, as Rohan said, begins right from day one. So based on their preferences and goals, there are various assessments done. And then there are, these experiential learning embedded in their program. So a job shadow experience, co-curricular activities, clubs, teams, startup incubators, capstone projects, co-op internship, they'll have, all of that. And then final job search comes into picture where, they'll be having job fairs and the cover letter critique sessions, the LinkedIn profile development sessions, the contract and salary negotiation. Also, there'll be sessions on this also. And then they'll be hosting an employer, and then finally you'll land up in that job based on what you are actually looking for. And going back to the question of the courses, I agree with Tanushree that that the course should be opted based on your interest, based on what you are passionate about. That's the right way to look at a course, and then finally your career will come into picture, rather than looking at something, okay, this field has these many opportunities, so I should be doing it. That's the wrong way to look at that.
Right. So over here also the message is follow your passion and the way will be, made. Right. Okay, Tanushree, I'll come to you. As Prerna mentioned and all of you mentioned that you guys prep students from day one of itself. So internship also plays a very important part in all of these things, right? So how does your university help student in finding internship and all that? For an international student perspective, yeah.
Yeah, I think this is for all our students, whether our home students or international students. It's available to all our students. Now, there are two different kind of opportunities that students get. As Rohan mentioned, there are co-op opportunities and there are internships. And I do find that a lot of us use it interchangeably. We say, oh, internships and, or co-ops. But students must understand like co-ops are a full-time paid placement. So you have to take time off your academics. You can't be studying and doing your co-op, which would practically mean that it may add some time to your degree, but these are full-time placements. They may be in Canada, they may not be in Canada. They can be anywhere in the world, and all the universities and colleges in Canada are so well networked with employers around the world that they have their students doing a co-op term around the world. And then internships would mean part-time primarily. They can be full-time or part-time, paid or unpaid placements. Now, we have co-op teams, and the co-op teams work very closely with all faculty students. So each faculty will have a team that's working with their students. Similarly, the careers advisory is working on the internships. Students have the resources, and we strongly encourage students to explore these resources, because now once you step into a university or a college in Canada, you are treated as an adult, and we believe and trust that you will reach out and you will use the resources that's available to you. So to your audience, I would encourage that all colleges and universities in Canada have plenty of these resources. You have teams working who are ready to train you, work with you very closely, prepare you for interviews, prepare you for your CV, your cover letter. But you must use these resources, and that's available on campus. So that's my take. But apart from also co-op and apart from internships, as Prerna mentioned, there are so many other opportunities that make you so invaluable in the work market. There are research opportunities, there are exchange opportunities, there are opportunities which are called Engineers Without Borders, where you're working on a government project in a different country. So co-ops are very exciting, but if co-op is not your interest, if there is somebody who's very interested in research, it's also fantastic. You will have such wonderful opportunities. If you have published research work under your belt as you graduate from a university, imagine how attractive your CV will look to an employer. Maybe you have done so many exchanges, so you're truly a global citizen. You know what it is to be a student in France, what it is to be a student in Australia, maybe, or in the UK. So explore a lot of opportunities than the set ones, which are of course popular, like co-op, internships, but all of us have such wonderful other opportunities for students to explore. And I shall strongly encourage and request students to explore those opportunities and make good use of their 4 years or 3 years at a Canadian institution.
Right. Niharika, would you like to add something to this?
Just to add to what Tanushree said, that there are support services. We conduct workshops from the very beginning of the students entering into these institutions. So please make good use of that. Come out of that cocoon. We see a lot of international students staying indoors, staying in their own groups, but an international education is all about networking. You have the opportunity, you've been given the opportunity to sit in a classroom filled with say 60, 70, 80 plus different nationalities. So make that network so that you are able to go further ahead in your career. You are able to advance from your academics to a very professional life. And that's the advice that we keep on giving to our students, that try and come out of your comfort zone and meet people, interact with people, go and approach the counselor who's sitting for you. All these public institutions have a set of counselors, a team of counselors who would be able to help these students in paving their paths towards a good job, a good internship, a good research project, as Tanushree mentioned. So please make good use of these opportunities and these services, and come out of your comfort zones and interact with the kind of people and teams that we have established in these public institutions.
Right. And I'm sure now the whole gap that they had, the break everyone got because of this pandemic, everybody has realized that comfort zone is now overdue. We have to come out of it. And networking, I believe people have started doing it. Not just in the student network, but also apart from that. Rohan, I'll come to you. As you said that your college helps students in getting ready from day one, like you prep your students just for the job, like start day one. So what kind of part-time opportunities are available at your college, and how do you guys assist them?
So see, part-time thing. So I always recommend when I'm talking to counselor, parents, students, that don't keep this in your mind that you will have an opportunity part-time, because sometimes they think it's a part-time opportunity and they depend their finances on that part-time job, right? So I always tell students that come to the campus, stay there, do your networking, settle down in the new county, settle down in the new city, make new friends, understand, build up your rapport with the teachers. And I think within 3 months, you will automatically, through your network, you will start getting the part-time opportunities. Though our campus is very big, we are 100 acre in terms of campus. So we have restaurants, theater, gyms, library, international department, Tim Hortons, Subway inside the campus. So there are a lot of job opportunities there. But again, every international student is looking at part-time opportunity. So it's very difficult when you say that, yes, there is a part-time opportunity, but it's very, very competitive. And when you talk about off-campus, a lot of students have a question that, will I get a part-time job in my own field? So for example, if I am a student with computers, can I get an internship and get paid? No, it's very, very difficult. Unless and until you are very well networked, or you are already from India, you are already started talking to the HR, or already following the companies that you want to work in Canada, and you build up that system, then it could be a possibility, especially for the graduate, but especially for the undergraduate. Most of the students find the jobs in malls, warehouses, hospitality chain, or Tim Hortons, or petrol pumps. So these are the actual jobs.
Right.
But in the end, because when you come to Canada, you really feel that whether you work in McDonald's or whether you work in a white collar, you get the same respect. And the most important factor for a student to work part-time is to learn how to work in a team and how to work in a Canadian culture.
Right. Well said. And you mentioned on-campus opportunities. So I'll come to you, Prerna, on this. What kind of on-campus opportunities are available at your university, and others can also add on to this, and how an international student or any domestic student also can avail that?
So McMaster offers a work-study program for students, which gives them opportunity to work on campus. During their academic session, they can work part-time, like 20 hours per week, and during their breaks, they can work full-time. That's maximum 35 hours per week. And there are more than 1,600 jobs available within 110 plus departments at McMaster. The positions can range anything between, you can work as an administrative support, you can work as a front desk executive in your faculty, or you can work as a customer service representative. We have a chat support, so you can work there. You can work as an athletic coordinator, a tour guide, or maybe just some clerical work in the library. So these are, and you're paid as per the Ontario minimum wages rate system. So these are the kind of opportunities available to you. How the students are made aware of these are posted on their we have a portal, Oscar Plus, where they get to know about these opportunities. They have to apply, they have to give interview. And yes, as Rohan said, it's not that each and everybody will land up getting a job, but yes, most of them they get. And if they're not able to get that on-campus thing, there are various off-campus opportunities also. Like you can work in a retail store, or you can, you can also start giving tuitions. I had a friend that I just sort of to share this here. I had a friend who went there for his post-graduation, and he was not able to, get an on-campus opportunity. He was a pet lover. So, he somehow got this opportunity, and he started working as a dog walker. So he used to, take these two dogs out. And when I asked, and I really used to wonder, how can somebody work as a dog walker? I was also in my post-graduation. Then he said, that, I love to exercise. So that gives me an opportunity that I take out time for my exercise. I walk around. It's an hour of walk for me. I love pets. They are great stress busters. And also, I'm getting an opportunity to earn something. So what, $15 or $18 per hour he was getting.
Right.
I think he was lucky he got that. So, these are the kind. So, and also, whether you are working as it's a white collar job, or it's you're working in a retail store, you're just managing the mannequins or the display, or you're working as a cashier, you'll get the same respect. That's how Canada is. So, these are the opportunities.
Again, that's why Canada is the best country to live in. So well said. Before I come to other panelists about the same question, if you want to add, I just ask our attendees, we'll start the Q&A session around 5:15. You can share your questions in the Q&A, and we'll try to address all of them, just in case if any thing is missed. And if you want to reach out to these UNI representatives later, you can reach out to us on support@universityliving. I'll share the email address in the chat box. Anybody else who wants to add about this whole thing? Any other personal experience? Niharika, Tanushri?
It isn't a personal experience, but as we are talking about part-time job opportunities, and I know there is an excitement among students to do this. I just want to let all students know that straight out of high school, when you join a university, and that to an international university, you are going to be adjusting not to a new country, but also to a new academic structure, a new way of learning. And so you have to learn, unlearn a lot. So don't rush into doing a part-time job, because ultimately what you're there for is academics. So don't rush for a part-time job straight away. You must be able to balance your lifestyle, must be able to balance academics, must be able to balance living alone, because I know that as grade 12 students, as parents, we pamper them so much. They have a car to pick them up, they have a driver waiting all the time. And here they have to do everything on their own, from their laundry to waking up without mom waking them up. So when you're moving from such a secure and safe lifestyle to something where you're completely independent, you're responsible for everything, it takes a while to adjust, and also to the academic standards of each institution. So please do not rush into getting into a part-time job and then you're failing grades, and that doesn't help at all.
Right.
The second thing I wanted to add, as Rohan rightly mentioned, that have your funding. Part-time jobs are not going to fund your tuition fee or living expenses, nothing. It can just be your pocket money. But you must research all the institutions here in the panel today to see what our tuition fee and living expenses look like. Part-time jobs is not an alternative to not having funding and a way to fund university fees. It is going to be very, very disappointing at that stage. And we don't want our students to come to campus and tell us they don't have the funding.
Right, right. Apart from this, of course, nowadays part-time jobs gives a different thrill to the students. That's actually the true scenario. But you guys mentioned it nice, truly, that your grades matter a lot, because you went over there to study and for a better future. But just because of part-time and neglecting your studies, that will not work. I want to have an understanding from you guys. This whole past academic year, many things changed because of pandemic. We changed to hybrid model completely. How it impacted career opportunities for the students. Niharika, if you'd like to share something on this.
See, grades, as Tanushri mentioned, matter a lot. So we have companies coming on campus with certain CGPA requirements. So, keeping academics on the top priority is of utmost importance for international students. During the pandemic, in the past 1.5 or 2 years, I think initially there was a lot of hiccup, a lot of apprehensions about moving into a completely virtual mode for most of us. I mean, not just students, but us as you know. People working for universities, the professors, the staff there, everybody was a little apprehensive. But I think within 2 to 3 months, due to the kind of technology that we live in today's world, we could easily pass the line to going virtual completely, and students also were able to take on classes in the middle of the night, adjust to the Canadian timings, and cope up with their studies. We have had students who were able to find part-time jobs during the pandemic. We have had students who were able to find co-op opportunities. Initially, for the first term, there weren't very many coming, but slowly the companies also realized that this pandemic is going to stay here for a while, and they need to have these, projects or these opportunities virtually to be given out to our students. So we have had students from this university working with Amazon on virtual projects as co-op opportunities or as internships. So there have been, initially there were hiccups, but I think the 1.5 or 2 years made us realize that there is a world, there is a virtual world also that exists, and we can actually live in this virtual world, be it co-op, be it studies, or be it our full-time work that we do can be done virtually. So
Right.
I think we've all crossed that path together, and successfully, I would say, in most of the cases.
Right. Virtual is coming out as a new normal. Rohan, would you like to add something over here?
Yeah, I just want to get back to the last point. I wanted to explain something because we being a college, so the first question of the student is because we are already very, very economical. So when a student apply to a university, they already have a set budget because they know that there'll be a 4-year program or they're going for a 2-year degree. But when you talk about a college, so most of the people think that yes, with the part-time, they will be able to take out a fees of a semester. And from the day one at the orientation, they have more questions on part-time job rather than on academics, right? And I think one common point for everyone here is that I'm sure everyone wants to settle down in Canada, right? But you can only settle down in Canada when you're choosing a right program. And you will only get a good job once you perform good in that program. So your grade really matters. So I sit at the international department. I'm flying to Canada on 24th this week. So we see a lot of students that come back to us. We try and analyze that what made them not pass the semester or what was the problem. So I did see a lot of students had an issue because they were working part-time and they couldn't cope up with the academics or because of the assignments and the lecture. And they end up paying the semester fees, which is more expensive than what they earned in the part-time job in a semester. So always try and plan your finances because it will not only disturb your personal life, but I'm sure your parents, immediately when you tell them that you again have to send a semester fees, it will be a huge issue. So I think these kind of sessions will help the student to understand that this is very, very important to plan your finances, and according to your finances, choose a right college or a university. And then choose a program that you really want to do, because you're not only looking for next 3 years of work permit or 4 years, but you're looking to settle down in that country. So if you're doing something that you don't like, I'm sure you're not just coming to a wrong country, your whole life, your whole career thing will be at the wrong side.
Right. Right. Well said. Like you should not, discount your studies over part-time job or something. Prerna, you want to add something to this?
No, I think it's covered.
Okay, I'll come to Sakshi. I'm so sorry, Sakshi, you've been quite for a long time, but I want to understand how university living goes beyond accommodation. University living is an accommodation platform. It's a global student accommodation platform, and how university living plays itself when we talk about career part-time for students, studying abroad.
Yes, thank you, Shefali, for asking this question. Well said. Even though our core service is accommodation, we are keen on enhancing the overall student journey because we understand that moving to a new country alone can be very overwhelming for our students. And therefore, we have various value added services that will benefit our students. When students are traveling, students want to get a feel of being financially independent when they are living on their own. So to help them with that, we have a student ambassador program that allows students to become an evangelist of their neighborhood and community and earn a stipend by using real life experience and adding value to the community. Adding to this, we are also working towards a service that will allow students to gain access to various internships and part-time jobs in their cities. Students can keep an eye on our social media handles for the big announcement. Very soon we'll be making that. And this will help them when they are looking for a full-time job towards the end of their programs or course completion.
Right, right. So guys, if just don't run run for part-time opportunities over there in Canada. There are part-time opportunities available virtually also, which will
Yes.
ask you only to spend few hours and you'll be able to earn some stipend over there. The one last question which I'd like to ask you guys before we jump into the Q&A session from the attendees, and attendees kindly ask the questions, whatever questions you have. The session will get over at around 5:30. Is that if you guys have some, data with you, highest paying jobs in Canada? This is something which most of the questions we get on social media, on a community, everybody's like, is it data? Is it what? Guys, please, the platform is open to everyone, anyone who would like to answer this thing.
So I can begin.
Sure, Rowan.
Being a community
Go
college,
ahead.
you're more focused on job and our graduate success rate. So when you check our website, every program will show you that it have a job. So it's not that the job is only focused at one area. So it depends at which background are you coming from. So when you look at pandemic, I'm sure everyone know that there is a huge demand of nurses. There is huge demand of research and development. There is a huge demand of biotechnology. But I'm sure when you are living in the virtual world, we understand the job opportunities at data analytics, artificial intelligence, machine learning, right? But again, when we see this, we need a management people to run the campaign in marketing, social media, and doing the management. And when we talk about a lot of stocking, so it comes on supply chain, warehousing, and then all the other facilities in Canada is backed up with the technical background, electrical, mechanical, and there are few skill trade which are short in Canada. So they're a little high in demand, especially when Niharika said that everyone is focusing. So we run a program with early childhood education, personal support worker, child and youth care, addiction and prevention. So these are the field and human services which are very high in demand. So in the end, so all field have their own importance, but if you're choosing a right field, you will keep, exploring more options. And all the colleges and universities are there to support and mentor them to help them find the right job.
Right, right. Niharika, you wanted to add something to this?
Because we get this question a lot, many times from students, from parents, ma'am, kaun sa job hai jisme hame sabse zyada salary milegi? So that is something that is very difficult to answer. But in my first visit to the university, I just asked the faculty head of computer science that what is the kind of salaries that they get, and which is the which one of your student had the highest paid job. And he started laughing. He's like, Niharika, it's a very difficult question to answer because every student will have a different sort of pay package depending on the kind of opportunities that they're looking for. Research oriented opportunities will not be very highly paid, but any sort of data analytics or IT oriented opportunities maybe a little maybe paid a little more. So it can be anything from 45,000 Canadian dollars to say 85,000, 90,000 Canadian dollars per annum. But it's a very difficult question, which is the highest paid jobs. Mostly, research oriented, technical, finance related jobs will have good pay packages. But as we've all been mentioning that when you're following your passion, you will be growing in your career. The graph will grow slowly and steadily. So whatever sort of package you get in the beginning, don't get disheartened. It is your first job after you complete your education. So it will slowly and surely grow if you follow what you are interested in doing. If you keep on adding on skills, new skills year after year and improving your career graph. So, other colleagues can answer better maybe about the highest paid jobs in Canada.
Right. Prerna, would you like to add something to this?
No, I think Rohan and Niharika have
Yeah.
done justice to this question.
Yeah, actually, and I'm actually feeling happy that it's not just us who has got this question, because Niharika also, that she also faced this question a lot from the students. So yeah, attendees, please go ahead and ask your questions. There is one raised hand and Q&A also are there. I'll just start it. So there is one question, couple of questions have been answered by Rohan. So Nidhi want to understand, what is the salary of a part-time job in Canada?
So part-time job, if it becomes province wise, for like I can tell about Ontario, it's minimum $14 till $23, depending on the job that you're doing. So hospitality job, wherein there are more physical work involved, they are more high paying, because hospitality will have tips, or if you're servicing someone, rather than if you're doing a back-end job, it will have a limited payout. But the minimum wage rate is $14 in Ontario.
Okay, right. We have another question from Harini, is that how many hours one can work in part-time jobs? Anyone else? Prerna, Tanushri, anyone?
Maximum they
20
can
hours
work
part-time.
20. Sorry, go ahead, Tanushri.
Sorry, go ahead.
Like we've all been mentioning, you can work 20 hours, per week part-time, but please understand that you've gone for your academics. So don't focus too much on part-time work. 10 to 12 hours in a week is, I think, a lot for a student who has to manage assignments, who has to manage research projects, who has to manage 9 to 5 classes, and a lot of other activities which go on happening on campus. So my suggestion always to all my students is, don't go for 20 hours a week. Try to start with 10, 12 hours in a week. Maybe during the weekend, you can put in more hours. I have had students who have worked throughout the night and then studied in the morning from 9 to 5, and they have had major health issues after, say, a couple of months. So don't do that. Try and settle down first. As Tanushri rightly mentioned, it is going to be a very changed environment. So you need to settle down first 3, 4 months. Just take it slow, settle down in your academics, and then you can start working for, say, 10 to 12 hours maximum. I think in most of the provinces, it would be 20 hours, total in a week.
Right. Thank you, Niharika. Niharika, the second question I think is again for you. What is the living expense for international student at Windsor, Canada? And others can also add the living expense with respect to their current locations.
So specifically, if you're looking at on-campus living, University of Windsor offers 4 different residential halls, and the average, cost would be around 8 to 10,000 Canadian dollars for 2 terms, 2 academic terms. And it will depend on the kind of facilities you are opting for, whether you're opting for 3 meals in a day or no meal in a day, or you're opting for single occupancy rooms, double occupancy rooms. It will vary from accommodation to accommodation and facility to facility. But on an average, 8 to 10,000 Canadian dollars per annum.
Right. Sakshi, I'll come on this part to you as well, like being an accommodation provider. If you can just enlighten a little bit about the living expense as per the accommodations front.
So again, Shefali, it is very subjective, because in Canada, we have different types of accommodations available.
Right.
So it entirely depends on your choice of accommodation. What do you prefer? You prefer to stay a little far off from the city center, then your travel time will increase, but your cost of accommodation is definitely going to decrease a little bit. If you're choosing to stay right in the city center, the cost of accommodation is going to be higher, but you will be saving on the commute time. So again, it's going to be very, very subjective. Having said that, the average cost of accommodation will range somewhere from 600 Canadian dollars per month to 800, 900 Canadian dollars per month. Again, then it depends on your room type, your preference. If you're living in a shared apartment, if you're living in a studio, or you're living in an ensuite, or you're living in a homestay. So that is very, very subjective.
Right. Thank you, Sakshi. We have another question from Arpita. It's how can an international student live permanently in Canada after completing his or her studies? Can he sponsor a family to come and live over there with them? If you guys can add something to this, Rohan?
No immigration related question, but I'll see and read how international can live permanently in and after completing his studies and can sponsor as an family. I'm sure by the time you will become a PR, you will be 4-year or a 5-year-old in Canada. So you will know better about the process, how to call the family and what all will be required to call the family, right? So I'm sure they have to go and take an advice from an immigration specialist. So it is
right.
Basically, guys, we are not equipped to handle immigration questions because it is a completely different licensed sort of counseling that happens. So any Canadian education will give you a stay back option 2 to 3 years, depending on the duration of the program. And in those 2 to 3 years, you can apply for your PR. That's the normal route that students follow. But please get in touch with a certified immigration advisor to get more details about how you can get your families, how you can get into the PR status as soon as possible.
Right. So don't worry, guys. If that's something which you guys need, just reach out to us either on the email or social media platform. We'll try to arrange a webinar in regards to that as well. Apart from that, if you have any other question, please feel free to ask. We still have other 8-9 minutes and we can go around that. In the meantime, I understand that this is, you guys are not coded into that, but there's a different standard and format for a Canadian CV. So how do you train your students into that part, or what kind of suggestion you have for the students in that front?
So I'm sure on the CV part, it's more on academic, but yes, as we said that each of the department have their own mentor. So if a student is applying for computer science, then the computer science mentor will know everything that what should be included in resume to get a job, or what will be included in the cover letter. And it will depend from student profile to student profile. Though we really think they are fresh graduate, there could be a possibility a student with WorkX or have done some fantastic project that we would like to highlight, and depending on which company they are targeting. So the CV format will depend from specialization to specialization. And the academic mentor are mostly the people and the career mentor who help them changing it according to the Canadian format.
Right. Thank you, Rohan. And we are almost near, the session is about to end. So if you have any question, kindly ask quickly. Otherwise, just reach us on email and we'll be happy to answer it. As Sakshi mentioned, keep watching the social media platforms of University Living and you'll get some good news really soon. Before this whole thing's come to end, the webinar comes to an end, I would like us to you guys, if you have any parting words of wisdom, maybe for the students who are planning to apply for Canada in 2022.
Yeah, I may add just something here. That while Canada has a lot of opportunities, it's primarily an education destination, So irrespective of what streams have more job opportunities, or what is the part-time job opportunity, or what kind of career goals we have, whether you can stay back or not, as a student, you must choose to come to Canada to study first. And when you choose that for the right reason, you will see every other, your plan will work out according to how you planned it. So, but if we walk backwards and say, I am a social science, my math is not my strength. Even if you were to, an institution were to tell me that, engineering has more salary range, what can I do? I'll only be very disappointed, but I can't change my stream and suddenly become an engineer and suddenly have love for math and physics and chem. So I think when you start walking backwards and ask questions, which are really the outcome of a degree, then I think that will be a wrong decision making. I think first, choose a program, shortlist a college or a university, which is the right fit for you. And if you do a program, have a high GPA, engage in what the colleges and the universities have to offer to all students, engage in a student life, become members of various clubs, do take advantage of all the opportunities. Your CV anyway will look wonderful. You will have so much to put in there. So none of us will have to train you then how to build your CV. You will have so much to put in there yourselves. So I think choose Canada as a study destination for the right reason. We have some fantastic world-ranked institutions. We have colleges that give you such wonderful student experiences. And as we said in the beginning, as Prerna mentioned, as Rohan and Niharika mentioned, that you are, as students, the central focus of all decision-making. Your welfare is the core of what we do in Canada. So that alone makes Canada a winner all the way. So that's just my 2 bits to students looking at Canada as a study destination.
Right. Well said, Tanushree. Anyone else who wants to, Niharika, Rohan?
Yeah, so I think very rightly said. So if you have chosen Canada as one of your destination to study abroad, but the most important thing is selecting a right college or a university to yourself. So a right college or a university is the one who fits in your budget and you really like the program curriculum that you want to study in the college or a university. If you don't like, maybe my ranking is number 1, but you don't like the curriculum, my college will not be a right fit for you. So please check the curriculum that you want to study, check the facility, check the faculty, because faculty profiles, coordinator profiles are also mentioned on the website. And very rightly said, do engage yourself with all the clubs, all the other activities, because most of the student will firstly focus on their own departmental area, especially the engineering side. They want to see how good are the labs, how good are the practical work that happens in the college. But yes, you should also see that what kind of sports facility or what kind of library is there for the referral book, or what kind of indoor activities are there, or what kind of clubs are there, because you're not just coming to a second country, you're coming to your second home where you're going to live for next 5 years.
Right. Niharika, you want to add something?
Yeah, I mean, we started this discussion with talking about the quality of life in Canada. So education forms the basis of quality of life, for me at least, and for a lot of us who are present here. So as Tanushree mentioned, that education should be your motivating factor to come to Canada. And because we provide, all these public institutions in Canada provide a very high quality education system, high quality degree, globally recognized degree. So that is what you should be coming for. Once you have this degree, everything else will fall in place. So you should make very good use and make a wise decision. As Rohan said, try to find a good fit of curriculum, good fit of the kind of research aspect, the faculty, the facilities that you are coming for, and definitely you will have a very good job at the end of it.
Right. So to sum it up, it's clear that, if you're clear and with the vision part of yours, if and you're focusing on the study and just not getting deviated by the part-time jobs and other that, the ultimate goal of having a good life post your studies, either at Canada or some other place, will be sorted. So I'll thank you guys for joining. Thank you, Prerna, Niharika, Rohan, Tanushree, Sakshi. Thank you for joining us. And attendees, if you have any question, please reach out to us over the email support@universityliving.com. We'll be happy to answer and connect you to the university representatives if there's any question with respect to that. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Have a great day.